Oh, Simcoe patent. That's not here.
Yeah, I'll say, I'm gonna go through these with you.
Yeah, no, it's the same stuff, bro. I just, or if it's,
You know what's weird?
He's going.
What's Krypton?
Let's rise and we got one for the ages today.
5 on the left.
5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation.
My salvation.
By night. And by day. His holy prophet. Noble Juali. Islam, Moors. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Juali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Noble Juali. Islam. To be proclaimed at every meeting. Islam. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim that I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet Noble Juali. Islam. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Islam. This is the instruction from your Prophet Noble Juali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you would be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Juali. And that's why many hearts have been turned to stone. Many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet, Noble Juali. Islam. Islam. So we have a presentation today that we'll be putting that up. Brother Quinn, you had any questions from the week or anything like that?
No.
All right. So we're just gonna get into this. We want to give honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to RV Bay Publications for being a beacon light for all the Moors everywhere.
Peace and love to everyone. I am that I am. I'm right from Raya Bay, and I thank you for being here today on this is our 15th Civic class that we started doing virtually. I want to make an announcement to those who are new. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I wanted to tell you that on this go-to platform, what you can do is you can set your controls to see who's talking. That way you don't have to see all of the blocks, the Brady Bunch blocks, if you wish. You can also, even if you come in with your camera, and if you don't want to be seen for whatever reasons, you can cut your camera off and you still will be able to see our presentment. How's that, right? So welcome again to this Take Your Place Amongst the Affairs of Man series of civic classes that we have been doing here at RV Bay Publications. Tonight, though, we have a special presentment, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you joined. And I guess what I'm going to do is get started on the presentment, because there's a few things I want to share with you to let you know what we have been doing and what you may want to be interested in joining or being a part of. All right. So just let me share my screen. It's live. It's good to see everybody. Now, we usually start at 7:30 these classes, but today I started a little earlier for the reasons that I just gave. And we have myself, Rain, and who will be presenting. Virtual, and we were there for talk. So what is happening, I need you to know that our blog, our Morris Heritage and History School Eyes Wide Open Blog Talk Radio, is still kicking on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock for Principles of Nationality. Every third Thursday, Sons of Allah, that's with Ms. Rayen and Cujo. Every third Sunday, Sisters Standing on Law. And the Sisters Standing on Law is with myself and Anna Edith, and so are the principals. Over here on the right, we have this new go-to visual platform, which we started in October, so it's been 6 months. So you got to use the math, right, in the science. This is 6 months, 180 degrees, and things are going pretty good. So the visual platform right now is every Wednesday at 7:30. This is early at 7, this particular one. And then every first Sunday at 1 o'clock, we have Sister J. Bay, who does Quran classes called Circle 7 Sunday. That's what we have going on. Also, I started this with astrology classes. Now, they are now on the site if anybody wants to obtain them. That's the list of them. If you're interested in the recorded classes that we've already done, that's the list for them. And it's on RV Bay Publications site, that category. And then we also have been doing these classes. So these are the 12 that we have up so far on the site for the civic classes. The Circle 7 Holy Quran classes, which was every first Sunday. However, this Sunday would be the first Sunday, but it's not going to happen this Sunday. It's got to be pushed back, not next week, because we have the acknowledgement of Mother's Day. A lot of people will be dealing with their families or their children or what have you. And then the next one, the third Sunday after that is our scheduled standing on law. So it will be the one after that. Also, some of you may know Crystal Gabrielle Ill. And I want to get this out of the way before we get started because we got a lot to share tonight. Sister Crystal Gabrielle Ill. This is called being industrious. She makes these herself, these products, and they are really very good. So you want to snapshot that right there. You'll see on the bottom where you can enlarge on the right-hand side, usually of your screen, you can enlarge the screen and you can hit a snapshot. And you might want to contact her for that. And this sister here, this Blooper Room, she is also industrious. She makes her own tinctures. She just got really backed up with the Blooper Room because it was a respiratory, and everybody was dealing with making sure they kept up with that. So she makes the tinctures. Now there's the email, herbalhealer333@yahoo. Snapshot that if you wish. And at this point, we are where we are and why we are here today. Now, this may not be exactly the way you thought it would be, setting the record straight. Yeah, RB Bay Publications is setting the record straight and recording information in this 2022. And where we are, post-COVID, post the reset. This is our time, Morris, most definitely for sure. It's the time for anyone really that has the conscious about what is really going on in their lives and universally as well. So tonight we had these questions. It's actually 7 of them. We didn't even plan it that way, but it came out that way because divine law governs all events, right? And I think you already know what those questions are. Why did Noble Charlie say to enforce the Constitution? What is Moorish Divine and National Movement of the World? What is a temple and where can you find it? What does going to the hedges and highways mean, and what are the limits for Grand Chigan making law? Why is it still important to have our own schools? And what is the difference between the Constitution, law of the land, and the Constitution and bylaws of the MST of A? It is never too late to set records straight because we intend to clear up confusion that seems to bind us all of us, all of us, especially when we talk about more. It's binding. And so buckle up for some forgiving information. Forgiving. Now what I'm going to do, if I would ask everybody to cut their mic because you will hear all your staticky. You'll still be, thank you. At the end of the class, we'll give you an opportunity to ask some questions. Myself, Ms. and Minka will be presenting some things. So that's how we would prefer it to be, that once we get to be engaged in the questions. The chat room is open, of course. And if you have a question, you can write it down, or if you want to throw it into the chat, we'll look at that. We trust that we won't miss anyone in that respect. So the first thing that I'm going to do, now I'm just throwing these statements up because look, some people were saying that, the prophet didn't say to enforce the Constitution, I guess word for word, phrase for phrase, or what have you. But there's a few things I'm going to throw up. We're not going to deal with them right now. We're just going to review them, read them, and I want you to hold on to them. Brother Mink, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Brother Miz, are you there?
Peace, yes, I am here. Peace, man. Peace, man. Peace to the world, peace to the chat.
All right. All right. The gangs are here. We're all here. All right. So I'm just going to throw a couple of these up right now real quick, and you're going to refer to them. I'm sure Ms. and Mink will probably be referring to some of these things later, but I want you to put them in your head now. And if you have any questions about this, anything, like I said, please hold it, and, you get the chance to ask it later. Okay, so Divine Warning, paragraph 3. See, this I had to put paragraph 3 because people were talking about, well, where is that? Where is that, right? And, a part of me was like, all right, some of these things, it's only 2 paragraphs. Like, You know what I mean? We have to read them. But I recall when I was coming into this movement and was involved, it's like all of a sudden when you start reading the literature, it will unveil itself to you at the appointed time. Because I used to run around and I would hear all these other Moors saying stuff and what the prophet said. And I'm like, well, where is that? Where is that? All right, so everybody's seeing the screen, right?
Yes, Mother, we see the screen. We see.
Thank you, Sister Karima. All right, so I used to run around and say, where are you guys getting all these quotes from? What the prophet said this, the prophet said that.
Morris, if somebody's driving or something, can y'all please use your phone if you're driving, please, so people with input can speak?
Yeah. All right, so let me get back to the sharing of the screen. Put this in your head for a second. Divine warning, paragraph 3. Paragraph 3, I'm hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. Divine warning, paragraph 3. I am depending, I'm sorry, it's not the whole paragraph, it's from it. I am depending on your support to get them back, to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they learn to love instead of hate and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. Now, just know that the United States of America is not America. It's not even the land. It's a union company, and all the states are the members. Divine warning, paragraph 4. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. All right, just bear with me here. And from Think This Over, You Morris Literature, paragraph number 3, the government is behind me, and I must get behind you, for I must uphold and enforce the law. My mission is to save you, Morris. And this is what we always say at the beginning of all of our civics classes as a reminder. As the Supreme Court has stated clearly, every man is independent of all laws except those that are prescribed by nature. Do you know what that means? That means divine law, right? And that means whatever your liberty of conscience is, because liberty of conscience is what religious freedom is. Which is why the prophet used it to establish the organization of MSTFA. But let's move on. All right. So every man is independent of all laws except those that are prescribed by nature. He is not bound by any institutions that are formed by his fellow men without his consent. That's where contracting and agreement comes in. If you consent, otherwise than that, you're not bound. So the Bill of Rights supports, if you really understood the Constitution, law of the land, that is not written for, what wasn't written for us, but for us to enforce, all right? Then you wouldn't even have to go past this Bill of Rights right here, which is what the intent was when the prophet established the MSTFA with the religious affidavit, because the door to religious freedom swings both ways. You'll see in a moment. However, Bill of Rights 1, Congress will not make any law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of people peaceably to assemble and to petition government for redress. And lastly,
In this message to America, Morris Literature, paragraph 16, the Morris Science Temple of America has received some opposition and criticism. The main opposition has come from certain Christian ministers. Of course, at that time in 1926, they have expressed themselves as being opposed to our propagation of the Mohammedan religion. So the Mohammedan religion is what people will tag and say Islam, I self-law master, and there are many other sects of Islam, just like there are many other sects of all other supposed religions, all right? So possibly they are opposing it because the promotion of the Mohammedan faith among our people in the United States is considered by them in terms as something new. Whatever the reasons may be for their opposition, the legal right to oppose citizens, individuals, and organizations alike for their religious belief does not exist in the United States. The door of religious freedom made by the American Constitution swings open to all, and people may enter through it and worship as they desire. We were expressing in our class the importance of religion, but let's move to the next thing that I need to show you. On the bottom here, I say this. This is a truth of Prophet Noble Jurali passed form in July 1929. What you would think, I want you to really listen to this carefully and watch if I trust you can see. So what do you think would happen? If there were, let's say 15, I believe, MST of A's across the land at that time, that means there's a one for that state and you could get a charter from it or a sub charter or whatever like that. But what would happen is you would think that anyone in the MST of A's, grand sheiks, this is a symbolism of two grand sheiks, one from one MST of A and one from another, wouldn't they say to each other, let's continue the prophet's work of uplifting fallen humanity and building the nation in the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Now, please don't take this wrong because I'm not battering any temples. The point that is being made is the point that we are living in right now as to why things have not been done or aren't being done the way they were intended to. So, all coming in. So you would think that naturally, if you're following this work, well, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So one grand sheik says to the other grand sheik, well, you know that that you are going to take the helm after me. Now, please, you are going to take the helm after me is Rise's words. I'm doing this with a strict presentment that it's not the exact words that was said. You can read it yourself to see that it had to do with, here are the keys. When I leave, you sit in this desk, to one of the grand sheiks that he was working with. And then when you get out of it, then this other guy will take it after you. That's what was said. And so the other guy said, no, oh, no. I don't want to wait. I went. I'm simple. Principles. big red ball of fire, anger,